whole thing? Like, how do you think, are the cops good? Are they bad? Are they beneficial? Are they a tool of the core political state? What do you think of cops?
They do it because that's
their job.
Yeah.
So it's not personal. You don't think cops fuck with you?
I think cops are ignorant, mercenary, Nazi thugs, and anyone who straps on a gun in the morning and goes to work really isn't a decent person if they're trying to support their family, making a living, ruining decent people's lives.
That's awesome. That's rad. That's the fucking best. Anything else? Tell me more why you hate cops.
I look like the kind of person that would be suspicious.
Right.
Because I'm different. They would come and ask me questions.
Right.
Assume that I'm doing something wrong because of the way I look or act.
Right.
What I think about cops is basically, from my standpoint anyway, is people who become cops because they want to make a difference, right?
Okay.
But somewhere along the line, I think that changes.
What do you think about cops?
I think cops, it depends on the individual cop. From
Right.
my personal experience,
Right.
I find that, same as he said, they get into it because they want to make a difference in things.
Right.
I think they do what they can, but the way the system runs it tends to wear them down. People, they get into it, I want to help this. Well, you can't do that. You have to fill in these forms first. You have to do this, 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 this. Oh, look at that person. Why didn't you question them? Because they look like Lenny.
Right.
That sort of stuff.
So they're making judgments based upon observation.
Yeah, I think,
and you don't like those observations because you think it's an educational issue with the cops. Because just because someone's wearing a toque or got an eye ring or wearing a spiked collar doesn't mean they're evil.
Exactly.
Right.
Why should I be walking up the street with one of my friends who has dreadlocks, cop stalks him, checks if he has a weapon or any weed or anything? I don't know. Lets me keep on walking.
Right.
If a police officer asks a WOG to do anything, I highly recommend you do whatever the police ask. If you are protesting and the police ask you to disperse, I would disperse. Do not get into combat in any way, verbal, otherwise, with police. These people put their lives on the line every day for you, believe it or not. They don't want to have corporate masters. They want to actually save the day.
Okay, what cops are is they are soldiers. They are the foot soldier of the core political state. Of whatever power is in function, they are where the metal meets the meat. That is the cop. He is the frontline soldier of the governing body in power. If we think that the governing body in power is a bunch of Nazi thugs, then sure as shit, the cops are going to be enforcing Nazi thug policy. What I think cops are is I believe that nobody gets up in the morning, wrings their hands, and thinks about stomping on babies. Even fucking Hitler didn't do that. He honestly thought he was doing something good. He was wrong, but he thought he was doing something good. Okay? Osama bin Laden thinks he did something good. He's crazier than a shithouse rat, but he thinks he did something good. So I don't think anyone gets up in the morning and decides to be an evil thug. I think what it is that they get twisted somehow. People get twisted. No one ever really desires to do wrong. I think they get fucked up in some way. So I think what happens with a lot of these cops, they started with the models of maybe they look at a lot of the movies, how our cops portrayed in movies. They're always, now they're getting more bad boy and badass-ish in there. Break the rules and who cares, and that's what cops are. And then this kind of emulates because, let's be real, cops really have no power. I mean, if you've ever, all you got to do is stand outside a nightclub and watch the cops come out and watch all the drunks shitting all over these cops, And there's no question that, like, I've seen them, and you stand there and you go, if I was that cop, I would have shot that motherfucker. Okay, like, go. Fucking seriously. Oh, my God. I don't know how they do it, really. They have way more tolerance than I do. But, now, old cops are different, because you can always tell an old cop, because they kind of got that I don't give a fuck, but their staring eyes are like, really, they don't blink a whole lot. I've noticed that with older cops. Next time you talk to an older cop, check how many times they blink. You're like, blink, you fucking weirdo. But yeah, no, they don't blink a lot. And the reason why is because these people, every day, now you got to understand, their exposure to society for 12 hours a day at least is high. I am responding to the biggest bunch of scum fucks the world has ever seen.
Police are good people. Further to this, if you show police respect, you are winning the hearts and minds of the foot soldier of the core political state. Once police begin to realize that we are, in fact, the salvation of society and not the degradation of that same thing, we got it made.
My name is Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man, and today we'll be covering the Essentials bag. This is not an AWOL bag, as may be confused, but in fact it is an Essentials bag. The Essentials bag is your first line piece of gear. This is, in all honesty, it's the piece of kit that you keep that's the bag. When you don't have your gear that's on your belt, this is always what's with you. Okay, you got your watch. We've already covered that. We've covered getting yourself dressed to a level where at least you're functional. You got your keys with you. You're good to go now. You have to get ready to go on and almost go outside yet. We're almost ready to get outside, but not quite yet. We got to make sure we got our Essentials bag, which covers everything you're going to need in the modern world. Now, Essentials bags were originally very common. Men would carry these bags with them at all times, and then somehow, through government subversion or perhaps alien implants, we've come to the conclusion that carrying a bag with you is somehow unmanly. They're called man purses, European daytimers, a bitch bag, things of this nature. This is just simply not true. You can carry more gear efficiently. As a matter of fact, in the military, they usually use it to carry gas masks and that kind of equipment. Fortunately, I live in a hemisphere which I do not need to do that just as of yet, but if so, it's a small modification to add a gas carrier to this system. So we'll start off with the actual bag itself. Depending on personal preference, there's two colors I would recommend. The first color is black. These are for your winter months, fall and winter. I would go with a black bag, and then during the summer months, I would go with a tan or cream colored bag. The company who makes both of these bags is called Maxpedition. I was very impressed with the quality of gear and for the price of the gear. It is not as a high quality item as, say, like Eagle Industries or something like that, but it'll definitely get you through the day. You can go with a larger bag, which I has opted for because I can pull it off because I'm a big guy, or you can go with a smaller bag. Now, this is a bag that my wife uses, okay, and then the advantage of a bag like this is you can carry it with you. It's not a problem, very inconspicuous, you know, you're not going to notice much. And their tag, luckily, is subdued enough that it doesn't really stand out, like it's not going to get you shot. You want to keep this strap regulated to a size. I'm putting this on from this point. This strap should be as long as you are wide around the middle with this particular bag, okay? These are the VersiPack line, by the way. That's a Fat Boy VersiPack, and this is their standard leg strap size, okay? This one here, when you put it on, you would think you'd want to put it on like this, but you can either wear it over top with the gear on top like this, but you have a little bit up and down play when you do that. Or, what I do is I run it underneath your Essential line gear, so the belt should actually slide up and underneath, as such. Pop it up and get the belt up cinched tight, so that way you've got upward and downward force. And this hooks around the side. Now, if you're really rocking and rolling, and you don't have to carry much gear, that comes with this leg strap, which can be readily deployed without too much problem whatsoever. Cuts in, over top, closes down, and this is just, you know, functionality of gear. Nothing really super special here. This comes with the whole thing. That stays on your bag. Now from here, that's going nowhere. You could get into a fist fight with this thing on. It wouldn't go anywhere. If you happen to have first aid equipment or stuff like that, this would be an ideal bag for something like that, but I think it's perfect for just everyday use and everyday wear. The one flaw is it doesn't carry enough stuff. That's the reason why I didn't go with it. Now, my wife is of this crazy opinion, and she thinks that perhaps I'm a little, concerned. Well, she might say paranoid about, you know, the state of the world and how everything's going and stuff. I just think she's unaware. However, moving up, we get to what they call the Fat Boy VersiPack. Now, this one's fully configured, and we're going to be going over this hot and fast. This one, when you configure the strap, you get it out, it's pretty solid. It's got the cool wick. I got a little bit of fray here. Where is the fray? I had some fray, I swear to God. I better find her. I'm dead. Right there. That seam popped on me, so boys, your seams are popping down there. But that's only when I machine wash today, so I wouldn't machine wash that. This goes over top, comes with a handy dandy strap, sits on a loop, sits as so. You want this strap long enough so that it goes down just past your waist. So if you're wearing your bomber jacket and you zip it up, this is on the outside, so you can still get at it. The biggest feature with this particular device is if you sit in a car or you sit down, you can simply move the bag over, sit in your vehicle, and you have access to all of your equipment while driving. That's magic, especially if you're in and out of your vehicle a whole lot, okay? So I prefer this design at that strap length. Going through the bag, top to bottom. First things first, comes with a key ring holder. I use this to carry what I've just received. I haven't had a chance to get it totally configured yet. That's why I'm not wearing them on this set, but a set of ESS, Eye Safety Systems, ICE 2.4 glasses. Now this unit here comes with, like right out of the box, now you must understand the price tag on optics. These glasses now have become like the crack cocaine of our culture, and no one even notices. How is it possible that a set of frames that look like this, that really do nothing? I mean, what does it do? It holds these little glass pieces here, but these were like $140. That's Canadian. You know, that's insane. How can this possibly be $140? There's not $140 with the technology in this. That price is completely out of whack. What do? You need the glasses. Yeah, but that's my point. That's a completely unethical thing to do. So when we get into eyewear, I went fuck the industry. What I think everybody should do is they should skip to these, because this whole unit cost me $35 American. This is what you get for $35 American. You get this handy dandy carrying case that is belt mountable or fast X onto whatever webbing you got. This is the glasses system. Now this is separate. This is if it's prescription. This costs you a whole extra $24 to get this. $24 more and you get your glasses carrier. So this is your total solution for sunglasses and eyeglasses. I have the yellow lenses on, which we'll discuss momentarily, but carried with you for the bright sunny days, you've got